what an archaeologist is? Many people think archaeologists are just treasure hunters, like Indiana Jones from the movies. But in reality, archaeologists are scientists who study the way people lived long ago. One way archaeologists do that is by studying dig sites, where they look for artifacts left behind by people that lived here. One way that people find dig sites is when construction happens, and they're found by accident. For example, we are very lucky here in Caledonia that when this new high school was built, that the ancient Potowatomi left artifacts and they were uncovered here, right on our site. Because October is Archaeology Month in Michigan, and you are going to embark on a dig yourself of the Potowatomi Tribe that left artifacts here, right on the Caledonia High School building site. You will find that there are many jobs that archaeologists do that take a lot of work. In the next few minutes, you are going to look at the different jobs that archaeologists do on a site. In our dig, we will have several jobs that students will participate in. One is diggers. Diggers will dig in the hole right behind me and over to my left. Then the diggers will take their shovels and put them into buckets. The bucket men will take their buckets and put them into the screens of the screeners. The screeners will sift until they find some artifacts, in which they will stop when they find one. Then we have recorders that will stop and measure where the artifacts were found, and they will record them. Every job is important if we are going to put the puzzle back together of how the people lived long ago. The first job of the dig is the diggers. The diggers carefully dig at the top of the hole as so not to damage any artifacts that might be hidden underneath. Then they take each shovelful and put it into a bucket for the bucket man to take to the screeners. Another chance to fill someone's bucket. The bucket man then dumps the bucket into the screen for the screeners to sift the dirt over the blue tarp and look for artifacts. Sifting is really hard work, so be careful not to dump any more than one bucket at a time in the screen for the screeners to sift. If you think you found an artifact, please don't just rip it out of the ground. Carefully dig around the object and even bend down and use your hands to uncover the object completely before measuring and removing it. When you find an artifact, chances are there might be another artifact nearby. Sometimes artifacts break and go together, so it's important to uncover them very carefully. Screeners sometimes find smaller artifacts and have to pick them out by hand. Once an artifact is found, it must be measured and recorded as where it was found so that we can put the story together later on. We very carefully measure from the lower left-hand corner of the hole, which is called the origin. We first measure the right direction. Record the measurement from the origin to the tip of the object. Once we have the right measurement recorded, then you measure up from the bottom edge of the hole. You measure from the bottom edge again to the tip of the object. Measurers stand by the hole with their clipboards ready to record where objects are found. When an artifact is found, the recorder must write down the coordinates. We measured it was 18 inches right, 13 inches up. And we think what we found was pottery. Sometimes we don't know what it is. When an artifact is found, it must be tagged. We number them in the order that we find them. This is artifact number 4. And then the artifact itself has to be tagged. And after it's tagged, we will graph it on our graph of the hole where we found it. When an artifact is found, it has to be recorded exactly where it was located so that we can put the story together later on. So for this artifact, our third artifact that we found was 18 inches to the right and 13 inches up. I marked it on my graph of the hole, and it was artifact number 3, and I circled that.